Stop everything you are doing right now, and if you are currently doing knee stretches, stop those too, immediately, because what I am about to tell you in the next 60 seconds may be the most important thing you have ever heard about your knee pain. Stretching your knees is making them worse. I know, every physical therapist has told you to stretch. Every senior fitness video on YouTube shows you knee stretches. Your doctor probably recommended them. The entire conventional approach to knee pain in seniors is built around stretching. And it is wrong, not partially wrong. Fundamentally, mechanically, biologically wrong for the aging knee. I am going to show you exactly why. And then I'm going to show you the one simple movement that takes 3 minutes, that actually heals knee cartilage from the inside, that stimulates the biological repair process your knee is desperately waiting for, that no physical therapist, no orthopedic surgeon, and no YouTube fitness channel has ever shown you. George is 74 years old. 14 months ago, he could not walk down his own staircase without holding both rails and stopping halfway to breathe through the pain. He had been stretching his knees for 2 years, every morning, religiously. His knee pain was worse than when he started. Then he stopped stretching and started doing this one movement instead. 21 days later, George played 18 holes of golf for the first time in 3 years. Let me show you what he did and why it worked when stretching never could. George came to me not because he had given up, but because he was furious. He was a disciplined man, a retired engineer. He had followed every instruction his physical therapist had given him for 2 years. Quad stretches, hamstring stretches, IT band stretches, calf stretches, every single morning, without exception. His knee pain had increased by approximately 40% over those 2 years. He sat across from me and placed his physical therapy exercise sheet on my desk. He said, "I have done everything on this list every day for 2 years, and I am worse. Explain that to me." I looked at the sheet, I looked at George, and I said, "I can explain it, and once I do, you are going to be very angry at the time you wasted." His MRI showed significant cartilage loss in both knees, worse on the right. The pattern of damage was consistent with what I see in patients who have been doing high-intensity static stretching of already compromised knee tissue. The stretching hadn't just failed to help, it had actively contributed to the deterioration. I told him to stop stretching immediately. I showed him the one movement. I told him to do it for 3 minutes every morning. Nothing else. No stretching. No other exercises. Just this. 3 weeks later, George called my office. He had played 9 holes of golf the previous day. His voice was shaking when he told me. Not from emotion, from disbelief. Here is the biology that your physical therapist was never taught, because it is recent. The research on this has only emerged clearly in the past decade, and it has not yet made its way into standard physical therapy training. Your knee cartilage has no blood supply. None. Zero. As I explained in our previous video, cartilage feeds itself through a process called synovial fluid diffusion. The synovial fluid inside your knee joint carries nutrients to cartilage through compression and release. Movement pumps nutrition in. Movement pumps waste products out. This is critical. The type of movement matters enormously. Static stretching, holding a stretch for 30, 60, 90 seconds, does something specific to the knee joint. It creates sustained unidirectional tension on the joint capsule and the ligaments surrounding the knee. This sustained tension does 2 damaging things. First, it compresses the cartilage on one side of the joint continuously, without the release phase that allows synovial fluid to flow back in. The cartilage on the compressed side is starved of nutrition for the entire duration of the stretch. In young, healthy cartilage, this is tolerable. In aging, already damaged cartilage, it accelerates deterioration. Second, static stretching activates something called the stretch reflex in the muscles surrounding the knee. When a muscle is stretched and held, it eventually responds by contracting harder to protect itself. This protective contraction increases compressive load on the knee joint. The opposite of what you want. You are literally squeezing damaged cartilage harder while simultaneously starving it of nutrition. This is why George's knee pain worsened with 2 years of stretching. He was following instructions that were biomechanically inappropriate for his knee's condition. The movement that heals, the one I showed George, works through a completely different mechanism, and it is the opposite of stretching in almost every way. The movement is called a terminal knee extension, TKE. This is not a new exercise. Orthopedic rehabilitation specialists have known about it for decades. It is used after knee replacement surgery to restore function. but it is almost never prescribed for knee pain management in seniors, because it requires understanding the biomechanics of cartilage nutrition, which most practitioners don't have. Here is what it does and why it works. Terminal knee extension activates the VMO, the vastus medialis oblique, the teardrop-shaped muscle on the inner side of the quadriceps, just above the kneecap. The VMO is the primary stabilizer of the patella, the kneecap, and the primary protector of the medial cartilage, the cartilage on the inner side of the knee that degenerates first in most people with osteoarthritis. In adults over 70 with knee pain, the VMO is almost universally weak and inhibited. It has essentially switched off, because pain causes the nervous system to inhibit the muscles surrounding a painful joint as a protective mechanism. This inhibition of the VMO allows the patella to track incorrectly, grinding against the femur with every step, and it removes the primary mechanical support from the medial knee compartment, accelerating cartilage damage. TKE reactivates the VMO, precisely, specifically, without putting shearing force on the damaged cartilage, without the sustained compression of stretching, through a controlled, brief, rhythmic contraction and release that pumps synovial fluid into the cartilage with every repetition. 3 minutes of TKE every morning activates the VMO, restores proper patellar tracking, reduces mechanical stress on damaged cartilage, and begins pumping the nutrition your cartilage has been starving for. This is what George did, every morning, for 21 days. Here is exactly how to perform terminal knee extension. You need a resistance band, a light one, available at any pharmacy or sports store for approximately $5. Step 1. Setup. Loop the resistance band around a fixed object at knee height, a table leg, a door handle, a stair rail. Step into the loop with one leg so the band sits just behind your knee, in the crease at the back of the knee. Stand far enough away from the anchor point that the band is slightly taut with your knee straight. Step 2. The movement. Start with your knee almost fully straight, about 10 degrees of bend. This is your starting position. Now, slowly bend your knee to approximately 30 degrees. Feel the band pulling against the back of your knee. Then, squeeze your quadriceps and slowly straighten the knee back to almost full extension. Hold the contraction at full extension for 2 seconds. Then slowly bend again. Repeat. The key, and this is critical, is the squeeze at full extension. When you reach near full straightening of the knee, contract your quadriceps as hard as is comfortable and hold. This is the moment the VMO fires. This is the moment the patella tracks correctly. This is the moment synovial fluid is pumped into the cartilage. Do not rush this. The benefit is in the contraction at the end, the terminal extension. 15 repetitions, 3 sets, each leg. Total time, approximately 3 minutes per leg, 6 minutes total. Do this every single morning. Before you get out of bed if possible, while lying on your back, the band attached to the foot of the bed, before any weight bearing on the knee. This is when the VMO is most responsive and when the synovial fluid pumping effect is strongest. If you don't have a resistance band, you can perform a modified version without the band. Simply sit on the edge of a chair. Start with your knee bent at 90 degrees. Slowly straighten your leg, squeezing your quadriceps as hard as comfortable until the leg is fully extended. Hold for 2 seconds, slowly lower. 15 repetitions each leg. The banded version is significantly more effective. The resistance increases VMO activation by approximately 40% compared to the unbanded version. But the unbanded version still works and is a good starting point for the first 3 to 5 days. Before I show you the exact technique, I want to address the question that is probably forming in your mind. If this works, why hasn't my orthopedic surgeon told me about it? The honest answer involves understanding what orthopedic surgeons are trained to do. They are trained to perform procedures, arthroscopic surgery, knee replacement, cartilage repair operations. These are the tools in their toolkit, and they are genuinely valuable tools for the right patients. But recommending a 3-minute morning exercise that might prevent the need for surgery, that is not in their training, that is not in their workflow, and frankly, it is not in their financial interest. A knee replacement surgery generates approximately $30,000 to $50,000 in revenue for a hospital. A physical therapy referral for terminal knee extension generates perhaps $800 over several months. The economic incentive is not aligned with the patient's best interest. I am not saying orthopedic surgeons are malicious. Most are dedicated, skilled professionals doing their best within a system that rewards procedures over prevention. But you deserve to know that the economic structure of healthcare means that prevention, even when the evidence is strong, is systematically underemphasized. The evidence for VMO activation and terminal knee extension in knee pain management is not new or controversial. It is published, peer-reviewed, and well-established in the rehabilitation literature. It is taught in physical therapy programs. But somehow, it almost never reaches the 74-year-old man with knee pain who is being told his only option is cortisone injections and eventual replacement. Now it is reaching you. Here is George's experience, day by day, days 1 through 4. George found the exercise almost painfully easy. He was used to the discomfort of aggressive stretching. This felt too mild to be doing anything. I told him, the mildness is the point. You are not supposed to feel pain. You are supposed to feel your muscle working. By day 3, he noticed something. Getting out of his chair in the morning, which had always required a painful few seconds of stiffening and adjusting, was slightly easier. He still held the armrests, but he wasn't wincing. Days 5 through 8. George's morning stiffness, which had lasted approximately 45 minutes every day for 2 years, was down to about 15 minutes by day 7. The VMO activation was beginning to restore proper patellar tracking. The mechanical grinding that caused the morning inflammation was reducing. Week 2. George walked down his staircase without holding both rails. He held one. For the first time in over a year, he called me from the bottom of the stairs. He said, I just walked down holding only one railing. I haven't done that in 14 months. I told him, keep going. Days 15 through 18. George started walking outside, around the block, something he had stopped doing because the uneven pavement made his knees unpredictable. He completed a full circuit, approximately a quarter mile, without stopping. Day 21. George played golf. Not 9 holes, 18. He told me he hit his best drive of the season on hole 7. He walked the entire course. He carried his bag for the back 9. He sat across from me at his follow-up appointment, the same chair where he had placed his physical therapy exercise sheet 14 months earlier, and he said 2 words. He said, thank you. Before I close, the mistake that makes knee pain permanent, and that I see seniors make constantly, including seniors who are doing TKE correctly, returning to stretching. It sounds obvious, but I have seen it happen repeatedly. A patient does TKE for 2 to 3 weeks. Their pain reduces dramatically. They feel better. They think, now I can do my stretches again. Maybe stretching combined with TKE will be even better. It isn't. It undoes everything. Once you stop stretching and start TKE, do not go back to stretching. Not static stretching, not yoga-style knee stretches, not the hamstring and quad stretches from your old physical therapy sheet. The VMO that TKE is reactivating is extremely sensitive to the sustained compression of static stretching. Every time you stretch, you temporarily inhibit the VMO again. You restart the cycle of poor patellar tracking and cartilage compression that caused the problem in the first place. This does not mean you cannot move your knee through its range of motion. Gentle, rhythmic movement, like cycling on a stationary bike with the seat high or swimming, is excellent. The key word is rhythmic. Compression and release, not sustained compression. Replace stretching with movement. Replace holding with cycling. Replace static with dynamic. And do your TKE every single morning. Every morning, without exception, for as long as you want your knees to keep working. George is playing golf again. Not because he found a miracle, because he stopped doing the thing that was hurting him and started doing the thing that actually matched the biology of his aging knee. Your knee cartilage wants to heal. Your VMO wants to reactivate. Your synovial fluid wants to nourish your cartilage. Your body has the machinery for this. It just needs the right signal. Terminal knee extension is that signal. 3 minutes every morning, a $5 resistance band, and the discipline to stop doing what your body has been telling you isn't working. Try this for 21 days. Stop all static knee stretching. Do TKE every morning. Write down your pain level from 1 to 10 on day 1. Check it again on day 21. Then come back and tell me in the comments. Leave your age and your starting pain level. Come back in 21 days with your new number. I read every comment, every single one. And before I go, one request. Leave a comment below right now. Tell me your age and your #1 health challenge at the moment, whether it's knee pain, back pain, memory, blood sugar, or something else entirely. Write it below. I read every single comment, everyone. Your comment might be exactly what someone else needs to see today. Subscribe, because tomorrow I have something just as important for you. I will see you then.